Stop staring at a blank email. Outlook isn't just for sending messages anymore. It's now your smart assistant. What if you could draft a quick email or get answers without even leaving your inbox? Hey everyone, I'm Jamie and welcome to Teachers Tech. Today I'm showing you exactly how to use Microsoft Outlook from the ground up. This is your complete beginner's guide to mastering your email and contacts. Plus, I'll show you how to use the new Copilot chat feature that's built right in and available to all M365 accounts. No extra subscription required. We'll cover everything from sending your first email to keeping your inbox clean and organized. So let's get started. First of all, where do we access our Microsoft Outlook account? Well, we can do this in a few different ways. I'll mainly be using the desktop app in this tutorial to show you how it works, but I want to point out if you're not on your computer, you can log in using Microsoft 365 app. I'll put the link down below in the description to access your Outlook, and it looks and operates exactly the same. So I'm going to go get signed in to show you where it is here. I'm logged into my Microsoft 365 Copilot account. I'm using a work account, but whether you're work, school, or personal, they should all look the same. Notice right away it defaults to the chat page here, which looks a lot like ChatGPT, works very, very similar to it. If you move down to the apps page here, notice that we have Outlook right here. So if I go ahead and click on this, it's going to open up Outlook, and you can see when I go ahead and open up my desktop app, things are going to work and look very identical. I do want to point out I have a different video about showing you how to use Microsoft 365 Copilot, how to use the chat, or even how to create an AI agent. I'll put the link to that down below in the description. Let's move over to the desktop app now. Now that I have my Outlook desktop app open, let's get ourselves familiar with the layout. Let's start over here on the left. This is where you're going to access your email. Now, as we go down, you'll notice that there's calendar. I'm going to do a different video about how to use the Outlook calendar because this is a very important feature and I want to make sure I spend the time on it. Now here we have people. This is where you're going to have your contacts, which I'll cover later in this video. We also can have some quick access to apps, but you can customize this to yourself. So if I click on this right here, and let's say if I'm using Excel a lot, if I right click, I can go ahead and hit pin, and notice it will be right here. But you can take these away quickly too, just by right clicking and unpinning. So you set that up the way you want. If I want to go back to mail, you'll see how everything goes back to my email. Now here, this is our inbox. I'm only using one inbox, but you could actually have multiple inboxes that you could have different email addresses and it will come into here. This is where I can do my quick glance to see all my different emails coming in and get an idea of who they're from. But as soon as I click on them, you'll see this is where I can read it and the details of that specific email. Now, up top here, we have some tabs. We have our home, view, and help. As I click on each of these tabs, notice down below the ribbon changes. So this area right through here is the ribbon, and it's important to know all these different features by using them because there's lots of things in here that makes Outlook very powerful. And over on the right-hand side here is Copilot, and no matter what subscription you have, you're going to see it over here. But it will change. If you do have the paid for version of Copilot, you will have more capabilities versus the one that just comes with all Microsoft 365 accounts. I'm going to have a separate video about how to use the paid for version Copilot in the different Microsoft apps. Also important to know where to adjust your settings. And if I go to View, you'll see settings right here. You're also going to see the gear up top. This will bring you to the same place. When you click on settings, and I'm going to stretch this out here, you can see there's lots of different ones. In this beginner's video, I'm only going to be touching on a few, but you might want to go to General and even change the appearance. So if you like the dark mode or if you want image themes, you can go ahead and choose them and hit save. And you'll notice it will be, the background will be different of your Outlook. So do take a look at the settings and all the different things you can adjust. Let's start by sending an email. But right before I do that, I want to make a quick customization to my layout. I'm going to go up to View. And over here in the layout part of the ribbon here, I'm doing a drop down and I'm going to go to fill screen. Notice how it changed the layout. So now if I click on this email once, it will open up here for myself to read. If I close it, it goes back. if I double click on it, it will actually pop open. So just a quick way to change the layout to get it the way you want. So if we go back to home now, I'm going to go click on new to start our email. Here is where we put the email address to who we're sending it to. So if I start typing a name in here, and I'm just going to use this one. So this is in my contacts, so that's why it came up. Now, if I had a different email that wasn't in my contacts, I just could go ahead and write it out and then it will add it. Now, this is the main person that I'm sending the email to, but sometimes you want to send a carbon copy or CC it over to somebody else. Now, that person might not necessarily respond to the email, but they'll know that the email has happened. So I could go ahead and add another person to this here that will get a copy of that. But you're also going to notice that there's BCC over here. Now, this is blind carbon copy. If I don't want anybody to see the email that's going to be sent, because other people will be able to see. So in this case, Jamie will be able to see the CC on this. But if you don't want the person to see it, that's where you're going to put the blind carbon copy in. Now, let's go ahead and add a subject line. And I want to point out this right now. If you get distracted and maybe you don't have time to finish up the email, everything's being saved in draft. If I go over here right now and click on draft, you'll see this is what I have. So if I click on it again, it goes back. So maybe you're starting to write an email and then you don't have time. Don't worry, the draft will be saved. And you could have multiple drafts over here. So just remember, you don't have to get it done all at once. You can go back to your drafts and find it later. Now, let's go ahead now and add the message. And we'll just put this. So we can go through at any time and start to format any of this. You're going to notice that it's very similar to Microsoft Word. Anything I go and highlight, right away I can make some changes. So if I wanted something bold or if I wanted something highlighted, I can do that. So maybe in an email you want to show that something's very important, you could highlight it. You'll also notice in the basic text formatting is right up here as well. If you want to add a link to something, how I usually do it is highlight what I want. So maybe there was going to be a video. I'll say, watch this video at the end of this. I could go ahead and highlight a word. And at this point, this is where I can insert a hyperlink. And also notice up top in the ribbon, I can access it this way. So if I click on it, now it's just going to display as video, and I could go ahead and put a link maybe to a YouTube video or to a file or to a website. I can hit OK. So now when they get this email, this is going to be a link that they'll be able to click on and it will open that up. And it looks a lot neater than putting a whole URL with a lot of other things in it. We can also add attachments, and you're going to see that right up top here. So I can click here and I could go get one of these files here, or I could go to OneDrive. I could even browse the computer and upload a file. When you're typing inside your message, whenever you put /, you're going to notice a quick way you can access this as well. So if I wanted to put these central sales numbers in here, so now in this video, in this email that I'm about to send, I have a video link and an Excel file. And now I can go ahead and send it. Notice that the draft email went away because it's no longer a draft anymore. It is in the sent items. So if I go ahead and click on sent items, I can see all the different emails that I've sent people. So I can make sure if I forget something and be like, oh, what did I write in that email? I can go back and open it up and then check to see what I said. You can use Copilot to help you write emails as well. So if I go up to Copilot and click on it, it's going to open it up inside Microsoft Outlook. Now, this is connected through all your accounts. So even at the beginning, when I was logged into Microsoft 365 Copilot, everything I would do in there, if I click Open Navigation Panel, all the same things will be in here. So it's going to follow you. So what can you do with this? Well, you can get it to do a thing like write an email for you. So I could go ahead and ask it right here. I could type what I'd want, or maybe I have one of the suggestions here. So let's say this right here. Let's say we're going to be out of the office. It puts it in here. So it's going to say draft brief out of the office message for my upcoming vacation. And we'll just leave it here and we're just going to send it. So it's going to go ahead and write this for me so I can make any changes to this as well. Let's stretch this out a bit so we can see it a little bit better. So we can see here that it wrote out a message that I can use here. And it actually tells me how to even set this up in Outlook so I could follow through these instructions. So you can ask Copilot for help. Now, when using the free version, what you'll want to do, because this is a little different than the paid for version, is you can go ahead and copy this information from here. I'm going to go Control C. We can start a new email and then we can go and put this in here. So there was actually a subject line. I could go ahead and take this and add this subject. So you could set it up this way. But it's nice to be able to have this right inside your Outlook so you can still ask it questions. You just are going to have to go and copy and paste it across. Email signature is something you might want to set up. So if I click New now, this is an email signature. As soon as I clicked New Email, this information at the bottom was placed in. So it could be the person's name, their title, their links, whether it be social or website, or even a quote that you could have at the very bottom. This is very quick to set up. Let me show you how you can do this. Let's go up to Settings. And I'm going to go to My Accounts. And you're going to see under Accounts, we have Signatures right here. I'm going to go ahead, stretch this out so we can see this a little bit better. The first thing is I need to give this signature a name. And for this purpose, I'm going to call this Demo. This is where we're going to type out the information. So I'm just going to paste the information in. So I have all these different things with the graphics here and the quote. I could go ahead now if I wanted to. If I go ahead and take this just like before, I can go and insert a hyperlink. So maybe it's going to be the same link and I'll just paste it right in here. So now this will become a link and I can go through and make other adjustments. You can see where I can insert pictures in line. When you get everything the way you want, you can go ahead at the very bottom, and this is important, you can say what to use for new messages. Well, since I haven't saved this yet, it's not there. So if I hit save, you can see demo is here. Now, do I want it on replies? Usually I don't put it on replies. I just do it for new messages only. So now this is all saved. Let's exit out. Now, when I click on new message, notice right here, that information is already at the bottom. So I don't have to go through and type it each time. Let's talk about receiving emails now. And in this case, I just received one to my earlier email that I received. The first thing that you notice is how it's highlighted with the color. This is because it's unread and it's going to look different than a read one. So if I go here and hover over, notice here, I could mark this as read, or as soon as I click on it, it's going to open, it's going to change as run read, but I can also go back. And we have a few other options here. I could flag this message. So if this is important, I could flag it, and I'll come back to where this goes in a moment. And we can also pin it. So we can keep this message at the top of your folder. So if I pin it, it's always going to stay here. So maybe you get this email, they're like, okay, I want to remember to come back to this later. If I pin it, it will be right here. And I can also delete it. But let's go ahead and open this email up. Now, as soon as I open up, you can see that it is flagged from when I clicked on it. And I can do some quick things. I could go ahead and reply to the one person who sent this. I could reply all to everybody, so even the CC people, and I can forward it if I click here. If I scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to notice that I can do it here as well. If I click reply, it will open up the place that we can start our new email. And right away, as soon as I did that, we have drafts starting. And notice, if you don't want to send it right away, you can schedule send. So if I click schedule send, we can go ahead and pick a time when we can schedule it so we get it sent exactly when we want. Let's get some help from Copilot now, maybe to write this message. Let's click on Copilot. And I probably want it to summarize and reply, and they already have that suggested one right here, so I'm going to use it. And this looks fine. So I'll send this away. All right, I can see they gave me a quick summary here. So I can look through that. And it says, let's start by crafting your first reply. Notice right away it's didn't write it yet. How do I want to reply? I'm going to say this one. I want the tone to be professional yet approachable. Let's send this. Okay, let's see what they came up with. They have another question here. Would you like to acknowledge Jamie's appreciation? Yes, I will do this. And you can see I focus on confirming the task list and the video. Let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to say, yes, I have the video link. And here's the last question. I'm going to ask Jamie for the details on their marketing task and send that. And now I have this email, and it's always important to read through these emails that AI generate to make sure that it is correct or if there's any changes. So I can see, hi Jamie, thanks for your message. I'm glad the timeline was helpful. And insert video link, looking forward to your input. So now at this point, I could go ahead and take this information. I could go Control C, go over here and paste it in. Do the same thing like I showed you before, Control C here. And I don't have to put the subject line in here because this time it's just going to be a reply. I put the link if I want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and click send now. Now it looks like I received a response to the one I sent. And what I want to point out now is I'm only seeing one email here, but if I expand this, you're going to see the thread of what is happening between the emails that were sent back and forth. Now, let's talk a little bit about organization, more specifically, how to make folders and then put your emails in there so you can have a clean inbox. Now, if you want to make a new folder, if I hover over my email here, I can click these three little dots here and notice there's new folder. And I'm just going to go ahead and click this, and I'm going to just give it a name of Jamie because I'm going to put these emails in here. As soon as you get the name you want, hit save. Notice I have a new folder here. What I could do is take this right here and move this over into this folder. Now it's not in my inbox anymore, but I still have it and I have it organized in this folder. And you can also make subfolders and folders. So if I click these three little dots, you can see all the different things I can do. This is where I could create a subfolder. And something I like to do is change the colors just so these folders stand out. So maybe I want this one pink. And as soon as I do that, notice that folder here. So you could change the color of the different folders that you create. Probably notice there's a focused and other. I just switched accounts here because I knew this account had a lot more of the other in it. So the focused are going to be the important emails, and the other could be junk or just things probably not that important that you can check at a different time that doesn't draw your focus away from. But you can change this. If you go to view and then go to view settings, notice right here, sort messages into focused and others. If I go ahead and click don't sort my messages, then everything will be put under one. Another important thing that Outlook does, it lets you manage people. And if we go over to the side where I was earlier, if I click on this, this is where we can create new contacts. So if I drop down, you'll notice new contact or new contact list. If I just click it, it's just going to open up, and all we need to do is go through, put the person's name, last name, email address, phone numbers, all the details you want from that person. You can even click to add an image. Then this will make it easy to add when you're emailing them to quickly start typing in their email, and then it's just going to pop open. The other thing you can do is import. So if you were going to go to import contacts and you have a big CSV list, if I go click import, then you'll see that you can upload your CSV file with all these contacts on it, and it will go right into Outlook. And you can also export. So if you have a large file of contacts here, you can export your contacts and it will make that list. Remember earlier I talked about a flagged email? I want to show you where this goes now. So in this example, I flagged it. If I go over to the side, this time I'm going to go to do, and I have flagged emails. So this gives a great way, and this is the email here too. If you have an important email that you need to reply to, or maybe add a reminder to, add a due date, you can see the emails right here to it as well. I can hit open and I can see the actual email. So this is a great way not to forget about emails. And I'll get more into using the to-do here. And you can also notice up top that you have access to do here as well. And in my next video, I'll get into more using calendar and to do to show you how you can keep everything organized even better. And that's how you get started with Microsoft Outlook, including that powerful Copilot chat assistant that's already built into your account. I hope this guide's helped you feel more confident about managing your inbox. The other major part of Outlook is the calendar, which I'll be covering in my next full tutorial. Hit that subscribe button so you'll be the first to see it. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next week with more tech tips and tutorials.